right, guys, it is day 25, the 28th day of April, and not my first zero. I think this is actually my third zero, but bringing back the tradition of Hiker Day, Zero Day Hiker Chat. Cool. So these two guys stayed with me last night. You want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Yeah, my name is Jason. I was given a trail name 2 days ago, which is Germerican, because I grew up in Germany my entire life. But my dad, who's sitting right beside me here, is American, and so is my mom. So
cool.
Germerican, the mix. We'll see if I keep it. See how it goes. But yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
And I'm Tony Flo, Jason's father. My trail name is Ice, and I got that way back, I guess, around the first week, because whenever we would get close to a town, I would obsess over Coca-Cola with ice.
Okay.
A lot of ice.
A lot of ice.
Yeah, I've noticed this too. You tend to drink a lot of, and what was it, like Dr. Shasta or something?
Well, that was because they didn't have Coke. So that was wonderful.
The ice is the fundamental part of all of it.
Okay, that's the great common thread.
Yeah.
Cool. Germarican, I hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah, Joe gave that to me.
Joe, West Virginia.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It works very well. It's a little bit of a tongue breaker, so I'd like tell myself again Germarican, but we'll see if I keep it. But we'll see how it goes.
That's cool. I like it though. It sounds good.
Yeah.
So how's everything going so far? What day is it for you guys?
Day 31, I think.
Okay,
so we started on the what was it?
29th.
29th. It's going good. I mean, so far so good. There's been some rough parts, some easier parts.
Yeah.
We started with pretty low mileage. I think in the beginning we do like 10, then we did even a little bit low 10. Tried to average between 10 and 11 in the beginning. Yeah. But since I-10, we've picked it up to around 13. I would say the last 5 days we've probably done like, 13, 17, 14, 18, 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
So we've picked it up a little bit. Have some pain in my foot, unfortunately, and my knee. But I think 2 rest days will definitely help. But yeah, I mean, so far it's been an absolute blast. The people are amazing. Beat is amazing.
Subscribe.
No, but just great people. I think that's part of the trail, but just hiking has been amazing as well. I mean, the scenery and it's just been an absolute blast.
You mentioned some fun parts, some hard parts, and some pretty pretty parts. Any particular sort of standouts so far? I guess we're not brand new on trail at this point. We're 350 miles in or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, some campsites for sure. I think we went one campsite before Scissors Crossing where we just had an incredible view. Cool. And the sunset there was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's great.
I think I took a picture there and it just turned out really, really nice. Hard parts, definitely the snow. I mean, it just really slows you down. It's exhausting, especially like if you start in the snow later in the day. You have all the potholes, and it just takes you're quite exhausted by the end.
Yeah, for sure.
And then our first 2 days were rough because the first
rain, total rain.
Oh, geez, you guys were out. Yeah, right. Because what did you say? March 28th,
29th. Yeah. I'm trying to put up the tent when it's raining.
It's a bummer.
Yeah. So we were just soaked, and coming into Lake Morena, he was shivering.
That's scary.
Yeah, exactly. So those 2 days were probably the roughest. The good thing is if you start out, where it's really hard, it can only get better.
Right.
And then you appreciate like the sunshine and all that so much more afterwards.
Yeah.
So
what's the plan, right? So you're not going the whole way?
I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm just doing the Southern California part.
Okay.
And we're probably going to exit at Ridgecrest instead of Kennedy Meadows because it's much easier to get back to Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's just a straight shot, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you can get like a bus or something.
Well, not a straight shot, but easier.
There's more public transportation. Whereas if you get out of Kennedy Meadows, I mean, you first need to find a hitch, and there's not enough people there.
Is it Lake Isabella or something?
Is that? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think it's a walk from house in the area. That's not where I but I might be off here. It's still a far way. I think we're like close to halfway.
Okay.
For that first
first bit. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably so. Because I think Kennedy's like 700 or something.
Yeah,
Ridgecrest
is
like
650.
Just a touch before.
Okay,
cool.
650, I think. So we
and you guys. So let's see, for your hike, you guys for like San Jacinto, you guys skipped that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's just
San Jacinto. Yeah, we have no mountaineering experience.
Yeah.
Also as I said, I have some knee issues. Didn't want to get stuck on the mountain with knee issues and not be able to come down. Skip that. We have microspikes. I mean, we've been doing the snowy part, but whenever it's actually like a summit traverse. Or traverse or whatever, we want to avoid that for now.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that progresses. I think with you we'll probably not do any of the crazy ones.
Well,
no offense.
but I mean it's truly like, and again, like when I was up there, I think on the video I made that day, I was definitely like, this isn't the place to learn.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
It's all well and good to say you should do every mile or whatever else, but really fundamentally, like everyone wants to get home,
exactly. And the trail is still long. I mean, we feel like we've done a lot already. I've never done 300 miles in my life before, so this is for sure a record for me. But the trail is 2,700 miles long. I don't want to have an issue right in the beginning and then have to exit, or even worse.
So to that point, what kind of hiking experience do you guys have? I know you both have somewhat different backgrounds with hiking, but do you want to maybe get into that? Yeah.
Well, when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s, as a musician, a mentor for me was Bill Schmidt, a composer, and he used to go hiking. So I did a couple of trips in the Sierras with him and his wife, and just for like 2 or 3 or 4 days. And I sort of got the bug, and I composed, and I've written, I think, maybe 4 pieces with text of John Muir.
Oh, cool.
Like a huge oratorio about losing Hetchetchy. And so I've always had an interest in the mountains and loved John Muir's writing about the mountains. And so Jason and I did a trip at the John Muir Trail that lasted about 6 days. We wanted it to be about 3 weeks, and we had to go out because he was going to have a knee operation.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, tore ACL and meniscus.
Oh, man, that's brutal.
Yeah. So
and then I did
a little bit.
And then I did 10 days, like a couple years later, with some relatives, and then 2 years ago did the entire JMT.
Cool.
With my brother-in-law.
How was that?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was really great.
What time of year?
It was July.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Mid-July to sort of mid-August, early August.
Nice.
And that was great. And it's interesting talking about scenery, because the scenery on the PCT, what we've seen so far, is really nice. The JMT is stunning, absolutely stunning. And you'll be tired, you'll come over a little knoll, and all of a sudden you'll see this gem of a lake. That's what you see in the Sierras, is the streams and the lakes are amazing.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. And what sort of hiking?
For me, so like you said, I did part of the JMT. I think it was 7 days worth. I torn my ACL and meniscus before playing basketball.
Yeah.
Just pick up game. It gets competitive.
Yeah.
But 7 days of hiking there, and then in Germany we did 7 days together as well with him and my mom, and then.
But that was a hotel every night.
Yeah. That's
nice.
Because in Germany, the reason is because in Germany you're not actually allowed to camp outside.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to set up your tent. I mean,
right.
I'll still do it somewhere, but you're not supposed to, at least. But then I also did another trail in Germany, which was like maybe 5 or 6 days. So I never done like anything really long.
Yeah.
But for sure had some experiences with camping, setting up tent, all that stuff. So for sure I had a touch of it, but again, these 340 miles. For sure is the record for me. So
well, but just a footnote, quick footnote to this trip that Jason did with his mom and me is he has a much faster pace than me.
Yeah, sure.
Right, and so we'd have a very long day, and Kathy and I would still have like 2 hours to go, and all of a sudden a picture would come up on our cell phones of a beer.
Nice.
Was drinking a beer.
Just pulling you along.
A beer at the end of the day of a long hike is really something nice.
It is
something
truly.
That is
truly.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the biggest misconceptions about through hiking, at least from my experience so far, is like people are like, oh my goodness, like how do you hike 2,000 miles or 3,000 miles or whatever in the world it is? But really, I kind of feel like if you've done 5 or 6 day stretches, that's really all it is. It's just a whole bunch of those.
Exactly.
And granted, you'll have like some physical atrophy or whatever. You lose a lot of weight, but at the same time your legs get stronger.
Sure, and that's differences, but the same factors, 100%.
So and as far there's the psychological element of being away from home or people you love or whatever, but logistically, the only additional wrinkle is the changes of your body.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but that kind of cuts both ways, right?
Yeah. I think for me, coming when I did the JMT, this was 6 years ago. I think I'm able to appreciate the trail a lot more now. Probably because I would say I matured a little bit. Back then I didn't. I mean, I loved it. I had a good time, but it wasn't like now. Mentally, I think mentally I would get fatigued a lot faster. Whereas now, I'm not mentally fatigued at all yet. I'm really looking forward to everything.
Good.
Honestly, being outside just makes me happy. I'm more worried about my physical fatigue not even like while I'm on the trail.
Yeah.
More like my knee or my foot, because like once you have something, you start thinking like, oh, you know, what if it's now? What if I re-aggravated it further? You know, and then so it's like a bit of mental. You don't want to overthink it, but you also don't want to underthink it. So that's more of a concern, I would say, over a long-term trail.
Do you have any sort of specific? I mean, I think I've seen you wear like a knee brace. Or do you have any sort of a regimen of pills or stretching or devices or anything?
Yeah, so I started out. So as I said, I had an ACL and meniscus tear a while ago on my right one. So that was my worried knee actually before. I was really worried about that, but that has been fine so far. So I wear a brace on my right knee, I wear a brace on my left knee. I actually even wear an ankle brace for like my Achilles. Yeah. That has helped a lot. And then basically every evening I do like probably a 45-minute routine of stretches and exercises.
Oh, smart, yeah.
Especially because like the IT band I think has been an issue, which has caused, like, it's a hip band that ultimately manifests in the knee. And it's really due to disbalance with your butt muscle and your fascia something in the front. Yeah. So I've been doing like strengthening exercises, and it's been getting better. That has been getting better. But the issue is once you have one thing on one side, often you start walking differently, and then and I think that's how the foot problem started being created, because I started like stomping more in instead of walking normal. Yeah. But yeah, again, I think, you know, what I've said multiple times is, you know, even if it's bad, just take a day rest or two, or even more. I mean, you plan 6 months. You know, don't quit at the first side. Just take your time, man. Yeah. Like if you're not able to finish the full trail because of days, okay, but you can still rest for a week if you need be, and if need be, if you're on a budget, rest in your tent, and then try to track on. I mean, exit if you mentally are fatigued or whatever, if you really can anymore. But I think, you know, you should give yourself some time before you go.
So mostly like stretching.
Yeah, stretching.
A couple of devices, something to brace and anything. Yeah. And any sort of, are you guys?
I have a massage ball as well.
Oh, one of the little cork ones or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can just do your whole body with it. Yeah. It works really good. Yeah.
Are you guys, let's talk about like nutrition, food stuff.
Oh, God.
Real quick. So I found like there's, in my experience, there's just a couple kinds of hikers really. I mean, fundamentally there's people who really consider nutrition quite a bit. And there are people who do more like the smash in every possible calorie you can in whatever form it may take.
I would say I've seen both kinds as well. Actually, I think it was the second day we saw a guy who was shipping up an onion and an avocado and garlic to a resupply shop. Nice. And actually like cook stuff up.
Really?
Yeah. The German guy. I think Florian or something was his name.
Nice.
We're not that. We're not one of those. I think we're trying to focus a little bit more on it, or at least we said we would. But
we started out with tons of Snickers.
Snickers. And then we moved more to like a little bit healthier bars, more protein.
Sure.
But we're still not really focused on. I mean, really, the diet for us is like ramen, oatmeal, bars.
Pretty classic.
Tuna packets. You know, exactly. Tortillas, couscous. Snicker bars,
not eating for taste, basically.
Right. And is everything going okay so far? Feeling good? I mean,
food wise, it's
I think I've lost weight.
Sure.
So I need to up my game. But yeah, I mean, it's just getting used to it and knowing how to function.
I think for me, definitely my hunger started to kick in more. In the beginning, I really wasn't eating a lot. Like I would, really undereat. And now, actually, on the trail, I realize like, okay, I have to be more cautious about that. I don't eat enough. I don't eat too much, because I need the food for the next couple of days.
But the more you eat, the less
the lighter your pack weighs, right?
Exactly. That's true. Exactly. So especially in the beginning, you want to eat more because when you like resupply, that's when your bag is heavy. I mean,
I always feel like that my favorite way to carry food or water is in my stomach.
Exactly.
Just get rid of it.
Exactly.
I also kind of feel like at the beginning of a trail, like it's always like, if you're waiting until you're hungry, you're making a terrible mistake. Seriously, look at your watch, and every 45 minutes,
eat something.
Throw something in. It doesn't matter what. You don't have to stop.
Exactly. You can just have like what we sometimes do is we just put a bar into our pocket.
Exactly.
And then whenever you just start chewing on it, you don't need it.
Exactly.
Because it's something a bit annoying when you have it in your bag, you have to take it off, open it up.
Exactly. You got to make it easy.
You just lose time because then you do something else, and all of a sudden 30 minutes have gone by, and you could have put in some lunch there. So.
Exactly. Make it easy. I'll often so I always keep my day snacks in my fanny pack or whatever, and then as soon as I see that I'm going to be going downhill for a little bit, because you start to get eyes for that sort of thing. Then as soon as I see that I'm going to be going downhill for a little bit, cool, it's snack time, and that way I can when I'm going uphill, I can focus on breathing and hiking. But downhills, especially a gentle downhill, you can kind of
you don't need as much concentration.
Exactly, you can kind of just cruise and crunch. So
I have a question for you.
Yeah, okay. The tables have turned.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really super impressed with how you do things in hiking and everything. So how do you deal with like when you're hiking up a trail and you're beat? You're really tired.
I'm always beat.
That's where exactly.
That's your
I don't know.
Okay.
So in as far as uphill,
because that just kills me. Downhill, I'm fine, but uphill, I have to stop.
Something I've done, and I don't know. I've not hiked with a person the way you two were more or less hiking. Like,
well, we split.
I mean,
you just split.
We
Okay.
started to actually hike more together because I walk forward. I'm always worried that something happens. You know. But on the beginning, I would always just go ahead and wait.
Yeah.
So we basically do our own thing.
Yeah. So hiking on my own, usually I don't have like, a talking buddy or whatever else. Usually I'm just on my own.
Do you listen to music?
Usually like second half of the day, or not music, but like podcasts and audiobooks and stuff.
Gotcha.
My thing for uphill is, and this has helped me quite a bit because it just occupies my mind. I feel like when I started getting really serious into hiking, I would see a hill and try as hard as I can to maintain that same rate up a hill. And that's just totally stupid to my mind. At least for me, physically, it's totally stupid. I can't do that. I cannot maintain the same rate, even at a small hill. I'm gonna slow down. So what was happening was I would go up this hill at the same rate, and I would find myself stopping and needing to suck wind for a little while, just breathe, catch up, let the heart rate drop a little bit, and then keep going at that same stupid rate, and then stop again. And it's frustrating that way. So what I do on a long hike, especially the more attention you start paying to your body and how it feels and what's going on, is I'll try and get to a hill and immediately, I say like sort of downshift, right? So if I had been cruising in 5th gear, I'll just downshift to 3rd gear, and I'll see, okay, can I go up this in 3rd gear? So I'll deliberately shorten my steps, and I'll slow my steps, and I'll try and hit that perfect balance to where it's not my speed that's staying the same, but it's my cardiovascular that's staying the same. So my heart rate and my breathing on a flat, I'll go as fast as I can. I mean, I'm not going to run down a trail or whatever. But I'll go at a good clip when it's flat or cruisy or whatever, and then when I hit a hill, definitely my speed will slow. But what I try and do is pay enough attention to my body to where if I had monitors and stuff on me, I don't wear any of that.
Yeah, I got you.
But that it would be the same.
The downhill with the speed is equivalent to the uphill with the lower speed, like your body.
Right, exactly. So just kind of, and that's actually a really fun game because now all of a sudden I put a lot of stock in like having something to chew on in the mind as you hike. You know what I mean? Like give your mind something to do, and that way you kind of remove your mind from whatever hardship your body is experiencing, right? But this way, you try and let yourself. Like my big mantra on this trail so far has been give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Be kind to yourself. When there's a hill, like, you know what? I'm gonna slow down. I don't care. I'm gonna slow down and I'll get up the hill. But what I'm gonna try and do at all costs is avoid stopping to suck wind. The minute I stop, I go, okay, well, clearly I was going too fast, so I should slow down.
So let me follow up with a question. I'm not having problems sucking wind or anything like that. It's just my legs get tired going uphill.
Do you use your trekking poles a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, constantly.
Okay, and like ladder, like when I go uphill sometimes for a steep, I picture it like a ladder.
Yeah,
you do.
So I go like left foot with my right trekking pole, right foot. And another one of my mantras I developed on a previous, I think it was on the AT or something, was any night I get to camp and I have sore arms, I know it's been a good day. Right? So when I'm going up a hill, I'm really pushing my trekking pole to climb up. It's more like, it's really like a forearm, four-leg activity. Really a lot. Like before I got on the CDT, I went to the gym and did a lot of like, I don't know what the exercise or what the muscle is or anything, but I would grab stuff and just pull it this way or pull stuff down to work like sort of like the back of the arm back here, because that's the muscle that you want to have for pulling yourself uphill with your trekking pole.
Because I use a trekking pole, I think, pretty well, but I do not have tired.
But I think there's probably just, to be very
age.
clear, there's age and fitness levels. I mean, almost everybody is giving you crazy props for still doing this. I mean, it's true. Like,
crushing it. But I mean, you already did the JMT, so
exactly.
That's some of the hardest parts of this trail, I think. Of that.
Well, and there's a lot of up and down on the JMT, but I don't remember having such trouble. Like now.
Yeah. But I think you also said, like, for you, this part has almost been harder than the JMT in itself.
For sure.
Like, it's just due to different elements and,
the difference is the altitude.
Yeah,
it's the JMT, but I've been surprised at how much up and down.
Longer stretches up and down.
Well, the JMT, you do a pass on JMT, and it can take a long time.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with what we're looking at coming up this year. So, let me segue back into that then. So, how are you feeling about? I mean, do you have any specific? I mean, I know it's kind of stupid to have plans at this point with respect to the Sierra and your approach to that, but have you game planned at all for that? I mean,
my initial game plan right now is finish the Southern California part.
Yep.
Then we'll probably fly to the East Coast for 2 weeks because I got a family wedding there, and I want to see them, and I haven't seen them in a while. And then fly back to around Sacramento. And start like the northern, central, and southern northern part of California. Then do Oregon, then the Sierras, and then Washington. I don't want to finish in Washington and then do the Sierras because you want to finish at the terminus.
Right.
But I mean, things change. It's a long way to go, even just to the end of the southern part. I want to do a lot of research. I mean, honestly, what you have said also stuck with me is that snow sucks, but water kills. Excuse my language, but. You have to check, you don't want to have too much snow where it's really hard, but if the stream crossings are too rough later on, you want to avoid that. Exactly. So it's hard to say, but I think right now that would be my plan.
Okay, so kind of delay it a little bit longer and then maybe enter the Sierra from the north?
Something like that.
But I wonder about permits too, how that works.
That's true enough too. I mean, if you want to keep your nose clean.
I think a lot of people that I've spoken to are thinking about doing it somewhat like that, like flip-flopping it. I know that some people just want to go directly through, but I think it's a pretty mixed crowd of different ways to do it. But we'll see. We'll see. I personally am not like I need to do it in one way. I think everybody's different that way. I don't need to through-hike it immediately and have to have every mile in. If I miss something, that's fine for me. It's a long hike. I'm not going to feel like I completely didn't do it if I miss a small part. Not even saying like the Sierras. I mean, that is a big part of it, but generally speaking, I'm more relaxed about how I go about it, I think.
And a couple of things also. Hopefully I'll be I plan to join him probably in Oregon because that's a flatter part of the hike. And then also for Jason, when he finishes the PCT, he's going to take probably about another 6 months and tour the world. Go to
cool.
Travel,
Cool.
Yeah, maybe do some hiking in South America or stuff. I think we met a trail agent who said there was a really cool trail towards Machu Picchu.
Nice.
That would be pretty sick. I mean,
I'm sure.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it's a far way.
And you'll just be a monster by then. I mean,
also,
jump off the plane
if not, I've done something wrong.
Just crushing people.
Exactly. Just doing like 30 miles.
Stomping over their bodies up to the tops of mountains.
So we'll see. It's a long way ahead, but we'll see.
All right. Well, let's just do one quick chat about gear, and then probably wrap it up. Any particular sorts of gear you've been loving or hating, or something that you got that you weren't expecting? Anything weird that you carry? Like more and more, I feel like every hike I'm on, more and more people are doing the bidet thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be that.
Bidet?
Like a bidet, like a little backpacker bidet? Okay, we'll talk about this after.
Normally I thought that was like something else.
It's the same. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same. But we'll talk about it. I'm on the bidet thing. So, but a lot of hikers have, like any sort of weird, quirky thing that you carry.
We had to change sleeping bags.
You have to change sleeping. Okay.
4 or 5 days.
What was that?
We were freezing.
What kind of bags did you have?
30 degree, and we went to 20.
Yeah.
We went to 15. We went to 15.
Was it 15?
15. Yeah. Okay. That helped a ton. Something quirky. I mean, what I got is like the mat. I think you might have a small one, like the seating pad. I have like the big one.
The full Thermarest Z-seat mat thing.
That one has been amazing for me. It's really lightweight. I can super easily do my exercise on it, so I can do a lot of stretches. or exercise or use a ball. You know, even when you like walk and then you take a break, you just lay the thing out, set it down. You can use your ball, you know, the massage ball. So that has been amazing for me.
And do you have that in addition to a sleeping pad, like an inflatable sleeping pad?
Yeah. But that one is really lightweight. Like it barely, weighs up anything. What else? I don't know. I'm sure we've talked about a few things that are really necessary.
I'm not really a gear techie type guy. So
most of the gear that we have has worked. I mean, one thing I can say is in the beginning we cold soaked for the first 2 weeks. Okay. That was rough.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it started out okay, and it just got.
But the thing is, you see everybody else cooking up, you know, and you know, making their meals with hot water, and you realize, okay. But I had a small stove with me, like a super, you know, ultra.
The BRS
maybe
1000 or whatever, like a little $20 thing. That's the one.
Probably, and you know, we had it with us, and we got some gas, and it's been a game changer for sure. Just the food has so much more flavor, you know. When you come in at night, and you know, even the ramen that you make tastes so different when you cold soak it, versus if you. Everybody, you know, has their own kind of, you know, feelings towards cold soaking or not. For us personally, I think, or for me at least. You know, at night, not cold soaking has definitely been more enjoyable.
I used to think also, before we started cold soaking, okay, that's going to be easier, et cetera, and, you know, not a big deal for taste because we're
we got pretty low standards.
Right, exactly.
And after a while, you think, you know, that it really does make a difference.
Well, and I think, like, my big thing about cold soaking is I haven't really experimented much, but, like, to be perfectly honest, I'm jealous as all heck of people who can cold soak, because you can save probably like a good pound in weight, but I'm like, I'm just too fancy or spoiled or something. Like, I want my coffee in the morning, I want my hot dinner, like.
I mean, just like the stuff that you can cold soak. I mean, you're more limited to the things that you can do.
Right.
So, like, for example, I got some mac and cheese now. You know, I did that the first night. That was actually funny. So I tried cold soak that the first night.
Brutal.
Oh man, it didn't work at all. I had to eat the noodles, like, or the little macaroni, super al dente. I mean, it wasn't even cooked. And I put the cheese in it. It was just like a soup. It was just gross. So that's been a you know, it's been better since.
Any aside from the stove and the new 15-degree sleeping bag, anything that, like, gear that you have where you're like, this is everything. This is really making a huge difference for my hike. Whether it's shoes or a sun shirt or sunglasses or a tent or trekking poles or whatever. I don't know.
I have the umbrella, the sun umbrella. I haven't used it too much because it's been crazy hot, but on days where it has been hot, especially while you're taking a break, it does help. It does help for sure. I think that's really it. Or
I wish I could help with this.
No, that's fine. I mean, but generally stuff is working anyways.
For sure.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
And what's not working, that's me.
It's
right. You can't blame it on the equipment.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think most of the equipment that's out there, I mean, it's, you know, everybody's pretty much on the same page. I mean, there's some small divergences, but, you know, a lot of it is shared. I mean, the Sawyer's great. Everybody uses it. Something special to that.
Had you been sleeping with that or so?
Oh, yeah, cool. For sure. Yeah.
Cool.
So it's been going.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys. Let's see. Anything else? Any social media you guys want to shout out? I don't know if you pressure, but if you have Instagrams, YouTubes, podcasts.
My Instagram is runninglate30, all one word. Don't ask why the name. But you know, I post every once in a while a few pictures if you guys want to see anything for sure.
Cool.
If you like podcasts, there's Anthony Plogue on music.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with hiking, but
it's on classical music. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool for sure.
And we didn't even really talk. Maybe do you want to give like the quick elevator pitch for what your because that was just such an interesting thing. I feel like people are going to light me up in comments if I don't kind of pull that string a little bit about your musical career.
Oh, okay. Well, I was born in Glendale, California, grew up in Los Angeles. And was a trumpet player, a classical trumpet player. And I played in different orchestras, chamber music, solo, all that kind of stuff. And taught in different places around the world, basically. I've done a lot of touring. And so I quit playing the trumpet, maybe 20 years ago, I guess, and to pursue composition. And so I compose a lot, and I started this podcast on Jason's recommendation about 3 years ago, and I interview people with classical music, and it ranges from, I started out with brass players because that's my niche, and I've had, like, for example, I had an AI expert on.
Oh, weird.
And we got into really, at the end, like will the world end because of AI and all this
Oh my
kind of
goodness,
stuff.
yeah.
So
also like you have the guy who did Toy Story, like his brother.
David Newman, film composer.
Yeah.
He
Nice.
did if you've seen the latest West Side Story, he was the guy that assembled the music and did the arrangements for that. Let's see who else. Marcus Hammond. I had Marcus Hammond.
Sure, yeah.
Do you know that name?
Yeah, I do know that name. Yeah.
You're kidding.
I do know that name. I'm not sure why, but I know.
Well, he wrote some hit songs for the Dixie Chicks.
Okay.
Now the Chicks.
Yeah.
Bless the Broken Road. He wrote that tune. Really interesting guy. And so I've had a lot of very interesting.
Cool.
For me at least.
And what's the podcast one more time?
Anthony Plug on Music.
It's going to be changed to Ice on Music.
We'll look out for the change anyway. And so that's social media stuff. Cool. Thank you so much. And any other sort of like parting words? I know. So you've done some hiking. This is your first long hike.
For sure.
Any sort of parting words for anyone who's watching? Kind of curious about getting on trail, scared about getting on trail.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just getting on trail.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest part. Is like if you have to quit your job or you get a sabbatical or quit your apartment. Once you get on trail, you figure everything out. You just have to take a step after step. So getting on trail. And then happy trails, just enjoy the walk.
One of the things my wife and I loved, because I showed this to her, was Darwin on the Trail, talking about training for the trail. And one of the things he said was embrace the suck.
Right.
And I think that's important to realize that there are going to be a lot of times that are difficult.
Yeah.
And I think going back to what we said earlier about hard times, I think Jason and I, one of the things when this trip is over, one of the things that we're really going to look back on fondly is the difficult times that we shared.
Yeah.
Not the easy times, but the difficult times. We had a day when the wind was up to 80 miles an hour.
That's
it was
heavy.
a really hard day. And we finally got to where we were going to camp, and we waited an hour or two to see if we could set up camp. And for some reason, I think we were just tired or something, but we could just not stop laughing.
Yeah.
Cool.
And one last thing, and the hard days and the hard parts is what make everything that's normal usually so. Like for example, us just staying like in a motel for one night,
right.
like having a shower,
Paradise.
going to IHOP in the morning is like the most enjoyable thing in the world. So the hard times is what make the experience for sure.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you. So hopefully, check out, subscribe to the podcast and check out Jason Germerican.
I told you it's a tongue breaker.
Check out Germarican's Instagram. You'll be seeing pictures from Machu Picchu and things.
In the future.
So that should be cool. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.